Achievement unlocked. A glimpse of joy. Oh! Gift was unlocked. What is it? Oh! Backstage! Alright. Alright, guys. Let's see what this backstage is. What you're about to read is a chaotic fourth wall-breaking peek behind the curtains of a Requiem for Innocence. It runs in complete opposition to the tone and frequently ignores characterization. Okay. Okay. I guess it's time for the obligatory backstage segment. I'm not really in the mood right now, so let's make this quick. Off to see Michelle then. What the? Something just zoomed past me. Jiren, enter stage left. Hey there, Morix. Haven't seen you in forever. You've gotten real big, huh? You must be getting pretty close to my age by now. But oh boy, that's one mean-looking getup. Something got you in a bad mood? It was a little more than a bad mood that turned me into a witch. What are you even doing here? Is there something wrong with that? You tell me. Look at the background art. Look at me. This is the cursed mansion. Details. Wouldn't be much of a fun of an extra if we got caught up in silly quibbles like internal consistency. I suppose, but... And if you ask me, you're the one who doesn't belong here, Morks. Huh? What is that supposed to mean? The story this time around was from when before the mansion went all spoopy and gloomy and creepy crawly. So I say... yes? Let's blow this joint. What? Hey, stop pulling on my arm. Oh, sweet Mother Mercy. Oh, and she's turned back into this. Okay. We've landed, Captain. Why here? And why am I so young? Because this is the Morgs we all know and love. Changing what I look like doesn't change what I am. I'm not that foolish little girl anymore. I think it's an adorable combination. Mini cursing Morgs. I'll take a dozen. I'll have you know I'm not for sale. It's impossible to keep my footing around you. Thanks, Morgs. I tried. That wasn't a compliment. Oh, I almost forgot. There was even one other thing I wanted to change just for the extra. Huh? Change what? Scars, go away. Come again another day. We all healed. What? Hey, you can't just nursery rhyme my scars away. Oh, my sweet Mother Mercy, I love this. Do you have any idea how much suffering they've caused me over the years? What's the big deal? If it hurts, isn't it better if it's gone? Plus, I was told anything goes because this is an extra. I've reached enlightenment. I'm just wasting my energy trying to fight you, it seems. That's the spirit. Just go with the flow, I say. Embrace the extra and have fun. No one will ever be able to embrace the extra as much as you. Just because I've surrendered doesn't mean I'm magically having fun. You're as hard-headed as ever, Morgs. Well, what can you do? Anyway, time to do some backstagey stuff. Let's go talk to people. First up is the main character of a Requiem for Innocence, Jackie. Well, you're going alone. Oh, come on, at least give it a little thought. I've given it centuries of thought, thank you very much. Aww. And here I thought you liked Jackie, Morgs. I despise him. Weird, I remember the two of you being like two peas in a pod. There were a few incidents after you died, to put it lightly. So if you wish to speak with him, you can do so without me. I don't care how much you pull, I'm not going, and that's that. Fine. Thank you. I'll bring Jackie here then. What? By the power vested within me, I summon you, Jackie. I apparently am a sorcerer now. What the? What happened? What? Jiren and Morgana? You've gotten younger. And your face is cute. Hey there, Jackie. Oh, what's with the duds? You look kind of like the Lord. That's wild. Because I am the Lord. Weird. My Lord was Francais, not you. Well, there were a few incidents after you died, to put it lightly. Oh. Well, either way, this is the backstage, so I'd rather you be the Jackie I always knew. Excuse me, I simply cannot become someone else. And quit talking so stuffy. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies. The boy I used to be died many years ago. I am no longer a foolish child with his head in the clouds. Jeez, you're both stubborn as mules, aren't you? I bet Morgs is super uncomfortable with you in that outfit. So, back you go. Fine. Are you happy now? Getting closer. You're hanging halfway off the screen. You see, don't get any stupid ideas. I'm not going to be nicer to you just because you changed clothes. Then, what was even the point? Come on, guys, you're gonna set the place on fire if you keep throwing around sparks like that. Maybe you'll chill out a bit if the rest of the gang is here. You're not planning on bringing everyone back, are you? You bet I am. Can't have a reunion of the slum crew without Boss and the Beefcake. Oh, wait, slow down. Okay, team, let's get going. Let go of me, damn it. You're coming too, Morgs. Look, I'm perfectly fine here. Full speed ahead.
Oh, I cannot keep up with you, Jiren. Hey guys, it's been a hot minute.
It sure has. Beefy as ever, I see.
And you look as dopey as I remember.
And hey to you too, boss. Still the hottest girl in town. Thanks. You haven't changed a bit, I see. That said, what's he doing here? No way! You're not happy to see Jackie either? I thought you two were super duper close. You missed a few incidents after you died, girl. Apparently the whole world turned upside down, the way everyone's talking about it.
Water on the bridge, everyone. I mean, I tried to kill him, but hey, whatever the hell. This is a behind-the-scenes extras. Whatever the hell that means. So let's have fun with it, like good old times.
I like the way you think, Beefcake.
Hell yeah!
May I say something?
Go for it.
You tried to assassinate me! If anything, you should be begging for forgiveness.
Oh yeah, that did happen, huh? Oh yeah, I did try to kill you, didn't I?
Yes, it happened, and because of it I started seeing ghosts and my council got killed and I was just about to lose my goddamn mind!
What's done is done, water under the bridge. Sure, you may have had a crisis, but whatever.
You can't just erase years of agony with a few words. Beefcake had some beef with Jackie and ended up roast beef.
You're a genius. Oh my god.
Was that all my suffering was? The punchline to a bad joke? Anyway, that's how we're doing things. Whoosh out, whoosh! Right under the bridge for you two, boss. Let's have fun! Don't think I'm gonna be any nicer to him just because this is an extra. Margaret is saying the same thing.
Oh my god, we got a lot of cast in here.
I only got a quick overview of what happened after I died. But I think you of all people could have given Jackie a little more benefit of the doubt. What he really needed was someone who'd believe in him through thick and thin. Near the end, rather than just listening to Mel, was it? You should have given your old friend Jackie a chance to explain. Did Jiren just say something sensible? Wait, how do you even know about Mel? I intercepted signals from the great beyond. Right, I forgot. Anything goes here. If we're talking about... If we're only talking the Requiem time frame, then yeah, maybe you could argue I didn't trust him as much as I could have. But we have a whole nother life under our belt you don't even know anything about. I've got 2 hours worth of hatred for this bastard. Ah, you mean the third door? Once again, how the hell do you know about that? The great beyond!
She's far beyond any of our comprehension, at least.
The point is, in that life, his family killed my family. That was just his family, though. Jockey didn't have anything to do with it, did he? He made me into this damn maid. To take care of you, right? Jockey isn't a black-hearted villain. You don't have to tell me that. There's just too much I can't brush under the rug. That's sad. It's not every day we get the whole gang back together, so I was hoping we could make it into a nice reunion. I was super excited for this backstage event. Oh, fine, I'll act normal, but only until this is over. And you, quit pouting over there like a little bitch. If I'm doing this, you damn well doing it too.
Right. Sorry.
I said quit with the pouty shit! You didn't have any problem acting more spirited than any other similar extras, so why are you being such a downer this time?
Don't you think that's asking a bit much after how Requiem ended? I'm pretty sure I was breaking character in the other ones anyway. But now I'm just a normal young Jacopo.
It was sure one hell of a heavy story, huh? I didn't expect it to end with everyone dead.
It was hardly a surprise for those of us who know how the main game ended. Everyone could have lived happily ever after if only that attack on the brothel didn't happen. So sad.
No kidding. God damn, if it wasn't for that. Hold on a second. You conveniently skipped over the important fact.
Then it was you who caused the attack in the first place!
Huh? I didn't do anything.
You goddamn know you did! You were the Lord's mole!
Oh, right, that. But I didn't think that was what would happen. I assumed those herbs were just a regular gift. I was just as surprised out of my pants as anyone. She's never had anything inside that head of hers. Anyway, like I said, wash under the bridge. The point right now is to have a fun little chat.
The pile of crap you're trying to fit under this bridge is a bit too tall. But what do you want to talk about?
This backstage thing's for screwing around, yeah? So I said let's have us a drinking contest.
I'm not sure I follow your train of logic.
You never stop bitching, do you, kid?
Jackie is about 80% bitch after...
Oh my god. Oh, okay. I love this way too much.
Personally, I'm perfectly fine with screwing around for a few hours, but I kind of like it if we could all do a quick rundown of what's happened in the story together. It could be fun to, like, compare Requiem to the main game's final chapter and point out where they're different. That would be a change of pace, I suppose. Putting this spin in spin-off. That doesn't actually work, you know. Alright, we'll get to it. And then be done with it so I can leave. You're no fun, Morgs. I don't want to spend any more time here than necessary. Jackie, you make sure she doesn't go anywhere. And while you're at it, hold her tight and whisper sweet nothings. Do it, and you're deader than dead.
I feel like things would proceed much smoother without me.
Hey now, don't be such a downer. We're brothers in arms. I'd be real upset if you left.
For a split second I was almost touched. But I'll still never forgive you for what you did to me!
Someone needs to give you whooshing lessons. Oh god.
It took us all of 10 lines to get off track and back to screwing around. Can we get back down to business here? Aye, Captain.
Oh, good god. Oh my god.
Okay, Jiren. Oh my god. Ta-da! On the right, we have the key visual visual for the main game. And on the right is on the left, where Jackie is the hero.
What was the question mark for?
Requiem tells the story of Jack's younger days, followed by the truth version of events from the main game's final chapter. The first half was probably pretty surprising to a lot of people, since we only got a super duper teensy weensy look at the part of his life in the main game. There were a lot of new characters too.
Well, the whole lot of us did get lumped into companions over there, yeah?
Pretty rude of them not to mention in such a memorable, sweet, and adorable girl like myself.
You, certainly did leave quite a lasting impression, including how you went out.
Gee, why thank you, Jackie?
Someone needs to teach you what a real compliment sounds like. The point is, going into any more detail in the main game would have distracted from the actual story at hand, which had a different focus.
Oh, you mean with Snowy?
It's snowy?
He's all white and cold like snow, so Snowy. You should call him that next time you see him, Jackie. Got to make sure you always got a friend or you'll start self-destructing again.
He is the last person I want to make friends with.
Oh, why? He seems like a good guy.
Because Morgana's taken such a goddamn liking to him. Being friends is out of the question. I'd rather put a bullet between his eyes.
Keep your pathetic thoughts under control. I can read them as they appear on the screen.
I swear on my life not a thing went through my head, Morgana.
And don't say my name. You'll taint it. He tried. And things were going so well between you two. Let me tell you something, and you might want to write it down. All's well that ends well, and all's bad that ends bad.
All those dots are making things sort of uncomfortable, so let's move on.
Sounds like a plan. Okie dokie. Let's keep this train chugging. What the fuck? One of the real highlights of the first part is getting to see everyone so young and innocent and fumbling around. All the sweet human drama and a rare look at a somewhat reasonable version of Jackie.
Excuse you?
You can't say she's wrong, though. You went really far off the rails after you became the Lord and during the third door. Hell, you were pretty down to earth in your thoughts and that flashback in the third chapter, too. So why is it you have to climb up on a fucking ivory tower every time you talk to anyone else? You're not such a haughty bitch normally.
I'm just trying to make sure people don't look down on me.
And you're going about the entirely wrong way, bitch. Jackie's generally been starts out as a colossal dickweed, and turns out he's kinda soft-hearted deep down and wasn't always this bad character. But for Requiem, your character arc went in the opposite direction.
Tell me something, Jiren. That description's not how you really feel about me, is it?
Everything in quotes is straight from the author.
Well, that's good to hear. I think. Whatever, continue.
Getting to see young Jackie growing up into making friends and doing all sorts of young people stuff is great, but you can't forget about the beats from Morg's perspective. There's nothing worth mentioning about anything from my perspective. I disagree. You were big, bad, evil, dark Morgs for all of the main game. And even when you told Snowy about your past, it was all ooh and ah. Don't describe it like that. It's confusing and misleading, and no one reading can hear you making spooky sounds as you say it. When the person be telling it's all being all blah and bleh, people are gonna get a different impression about who you are. Now, even I'm not sure what you're trying to say anymore. She has a point, though. It's pretty impressive how differently the story comes off told from your perspective as a 9 to 12-year-old girl. Seeing such a wide range of emotions in you brings tears to my eyes. You're just imagining it. It's perfectly normal to be emotional. You're just like a little kid. You'd just be a bit of a sourpuss, but otherwise a completely ordinary girl, if that part was all there was to your story. This little shit had to go and turn you into a witch. And then you went on to hold, what, like a 1,000-year grudge or something?
Not totally sure what they're going on about, but it sounds like you're getting the crap kicked out of you, kid. But don't worry, Gretchen's here to sweep in to your rescue. So, what do y'all do anyway? As penance for what I did to you in Requiem, I'll stick up for you no matter how bad you cocked up.
I kept Morgana in prison for half a year and killed her.
Sorry, ain't no sticking up for that. Jeez, Gretchen.
In addition to that, in his next life, he imprisoned half of my soul.
Yep, can't defend that, kid. Sorry. But I know how to fix this.
Fix it. That's possible?
Hell yeah! You just gotta hook up with a girl who's into that sort of thing. You wanna lock someone up? She wants to be locked up. Everyone wins.
Hey, slow down. I didn't imprison anyone because I wanted to.
You mean that's not your kink?
No, goddammit! Enough of this. Move on. I'm going to be bullied for the rest of eternity if we don't proceed. Aye aye. Oh my god, I love this so much. As Requiem's first part goes on, we see Morg slowly opening up. She starts off screaming about dirty whores and divine punishment, and eventually she chillaxes into a pretty normal girl. Can't you describe anything normally? Just watching that heart of ice melt is the cutest thing in the world. And it was, of course, Jackie who helped make that possible. Me, Boss, and the other girls spent a lot of time with Morgs, but Jackie was the one who really showed the most concern for her. At first, he only did it out of pity, and then maybe some of what Francais said at the beginning too, so he could pat himself on the back and pretend he did a good deed. But before long, his feelings changed. He started to think of her like family, someone he cared deeply about. And then those feelings changed again during the bit with the sunrise. Ah, so young, so sweet. Jackie and Morg sitting in a tree. She does know how the story ends, right? I didn't just imagine us talking about that, did I? But then everyone's happy days came to a sudden terrible end. Jackie felt completely powerless, helpless to do anything, and it crushed him. This event changed the course of his life forever. Using a ring with the Barnier family crest given to him by a noblewoman, he led the people of the slums into revolution. But I'm guessing he was driven more by hatred than anything else. Not for the bandits that attacked the brothel, but his own worthless self. Did you just call me worthless?
Damn, that is still one of the best things right there.
And then, revolution time. Yee, Francais, you kick butt! That's all you care about, isn't it? Oh, you're pretty decent too, Jackie. You make it sound like I'm just a footnote! I'm not kidding. You were pretty impressive. Right off the bat, you killed a guard by throwing a knife at him. That takes skill. And he got me right between the eyes in the third door. Did he kill a bunch of people then too? Oh yeah, tons of them. He was a mafioso after all. Ooh, scary. So as you can see, Jackie's a lot more capable than he seems. He just uses that capability for all the wrong things and ends up ruining everything he touches. You got looks, money, power, or smarts. How are you such a train wreck of a human being?
Wouldn't I like to know?
He's also really susceptible to being caught off guard. In the third door, while he was distracted with everything going on with his wife, he let himself get shanked by his coachman. And at one of the options near the end of the final chapter, that crazy madman with a sword took your head clean off. You probably could have prevented that if you hadn't let Snowy get under your skin so easily. Hey, guys, can we stop talking about all the ways I've screwed up? Let's move on already. All of you insist? So the first part ends with the revolution, a huge success? And the second part, suffering and misery. But before that, it's time for the intermission. Here, you get to see me and Francais together. I definitely wasn't expecting that monster to take the spotlight at any point. No, hell no, I was not, but I'm actually happy that it did. It actually got me to learn more about him. And that's one of the things that I love about this damn novel. It takes the time. You can actually learn about the damn characters. Even a monster like Barnier, I actually understood him a little bit. How fucking insane is that?
lot going on himself.
That doesn't make him any less of a twisted murderer.
Francais definitely loves his dread and despair. He reminds me of a certain beast.
That certain beast is a bit more direct with his violence, though.
I thought I heard somebody talking about me.
I have to say, it completely knocked my socks off when we found out it was him you had a thing for. I totally thought you were just thrown into the game so Jacopo could build a harem. Either that or someone just there to, I don't know, help awaken him to his interesting girls before he went after the main heroine. If that was all the author was going to use such a disgustingly adorable girl like me for, I'd place the big dummy curse on them. What an unthreatening curse.
That threw me for a damn loop too. The official site even sticking to that bit about how about a certain summoner's caught her eye had me convinced it was Jacopo.
Yeah, the official site's character profiles are always a bit misleading. There's an official site. Like for the main game, Boss's profile said she was the white-haired girl's only ally, which turned out to be a huge lie.
Hopefully no one tries to nail them for false advertising.
You know, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like you're just really fucking pathetic, Jacopo.
Shut your damn mouth! I know I am!
And on to the second part. From here, we start getting closer and closer to the main game's final chapter. But Jackie's still mostly reasonable at the beginning. He tries his best to be a better lord and govern his land. As a side note, one of the traits listed on your character outline is hard-working. Here, you work your butt off to improve the city. In the third chapter, you work your butt off to improve business. But you're super bad at picking allies, so you end up not trusting anyone, unable to open up, unable to tell who's on your side and who isn't, and eventually destroying yourself for it. And to top it off, you don't like people looking down on you, so you do everything in your power to be a huge jerk. Pathetic.
I want to disappear.
As he gets deeper and deeper into the politics of running a city, Jackie's perspective and priorities start changing. But what really pushes him over the edge is Beefcake's beef with him.
Yeah, sorry for screwing things up for you, kid.
Wipe that shit-eating grin off your face!
And it's all downhill from there. His consul dies and he's stuck seeing the ghost of Francais and all sorts of other dangerous people who didn't show up as more than footnotes to try to do all sorts of terrible things to him. And before long, Jackie's a broken mess.
I feel much the same now.
Oh, and for the record, Francais' ghost wasn't an actual ghost. It was Jackie's hallucination. Nah, I kinda figured. Snowy had some ghost troubles in the main game too, but that was a real deal ghost. Well, yes, it was me.
I would much prefer to have Morgana tormenting me than Banya having around trying to undermine everything.
Seriously, dude, keep your masochistic fantasies to yourself. We can fucking read it all as it appears on the screen.
Would everyone stop trying to read my goddamn mind?
So little by little, the old Jackie disappears and he turns into a bad guy. That's one of the most painful parts of this story. Watching someone put in an honest, solid effort to improve things only to end up being corrupted. Like I was saying earlier, Jackie really needed someone he could trust in his life. It would have been nice if he could have found someone else after Old Lone died.
His name is Eldalon.
I know it was a pun on Old and Lone.
You can't just smash two words together and call it a pun.
What you should have done is made your counsel from the get-go.
I would have never been able to get anything done, and it would have been only enabled you to go after my head quicker.
Have a little faith in me, kid.
You were always really aggressively competitive with Jackie. If anyone, I think it should have been Boss's counsel. That was my plan. That was the whole reason I was learning to read. I had no idea. Never ended up being any use, of course. Oh, I think you were going to go see him, boss. You should have done so a lot sooner than you did. Excuse me? It would have been better if you'd crashed in shouting, "What the hell are you doing, Jacopo?" the day you put Beefcake's head on a spike. You would have probably still been able to get through to him then. Of course, you're plenty at fault here too, Jackie. You need to learn to be more open. But that doesn't let you off for not dragging it out of him either, boss.
I can't believe she's got Maria with her back to the wall.
You seem sharper than usual here in the backstage, Jiren. I thought you were supposed to be an airhead. I flipped on my super smart switch for the occasion. Super smart is clearly an exaggeration, but I can't deny you're much more clever than you were in Requiem. The other tweaked me a bit because we couldn't get anywhere otherwise. I can see the fourth wall crumbling. Oh my god. Hasn't it always been my job to run these things anyway? Why did you end up with it this time? Because if you were in charge, you'd skip all over this and go straight to see Snowy. Proceed. Aye, aye. So once Jackie's gone off the rails, he starts getting cruel and merciless. He tears down farms and works slaves to death, and overall everyone kind of starts hating his guts. He did the same sort of shit in the third door too. Put a factory out of business and made a whole lot of fans for it.
There's no such thing as a world where everyone can be happy.
That may be true in general, but in your case, you were just being a fucking shitheel. And then we get to the big turning point. Him locking Morgs up in the tower.
About that, Morgana,
The only whooshing I will be doing is sending your soul straight to hell.
What?
Your soul straight to hell. This is the one screw-up you really can't talk yourself out of. Although it's at least more understandable than how it was presented in the main game, I think. That was the super short version of it, so you didn't get to see much of how he had painted himself into a corner. But here, that was the focus. And then we switch over to Morg's perspective. Probably the most important part of getting Morg's perspective is that scene where she finally throws off her mask and reveals her true feelings.
Yeah, that. I can't believe you felt so strongly. You didn't even hint at that when we were together. But then you just straight out said, will you stay with me?
That was a dream sequence, you oaf.
What?
I was a child and my mind was running wild. There was nothing to it.
You can't just brush it all under the rug like that. It's too important of a moment.
But I know the truth. You don't actually hate me. I don't completely revile the slave man. But I will always detest you, the Lord. Now, can you imagine my utter dismay upon learning the two were the same? I'm sorry. Man, you're getting roses from every direction for this backstage, Jackie. I know, right? It's like it's just basically burned Jacopo corner right now. Considering how badly he screwed everyone over, is that a surprise? So back to the story. Well, she goes all sappy once Morgs ends up hardening back up as she spends more time alone. This wasn't mentioned explicitly in the game, but apparently one of Odilon's men actually stopped by her little lakeside cottage once. What? Well, since Morgs didn't open the door to anyone who wasn't there for her leafy green, she ended up chasing him off. Well, I believe the exact phrasing was, and I quote, "I sent away anyone who wasn't here for medicine." That's what that line was there for. Exactly how many opportunities were missed?
Oh, damn. Oh my god, why didn't I piece that together? Holy shit.
Things might have gone differently had she opened the door. Morgs makes her way to the Lord's Manor, where Jackie's waiting. They have a heartwarming reunion, and then she becomes his consul and transforms the city into a theonomy. It becomes a new holy land for which a new wave of crusades begins. Exciting stuff! You realize the crusades began almost a century after we all died, right?
Anyway, I wouldn't have made her into my counsel if I had found her. If anything, my bride.
I will murder you with my own two hands.
For the love of God, stop reading my mind!
While she's all holed up, a flaxen-haired young man pays Morgs a visit. The boy formerly known as Mel. Wait, what's he known as now? The boy formerly known as Mel managed to get through Morg's shell briefly, the reason for which is a lot clearer in Requiem. Both of everyone had everything from her old life, but it was the slave man she could ultimately never forget. I did forget his name, what he looked like, though.
Maybe things could have turned out differently if you hadn't. Remembering you wouldn't have made you any less of a monster, thank you very much.
And it was more like you locked away that information away than actually forgot it. I'm betting you'd remember just fine if you'd reunited in better circumstances. But what a crazy bonkers reunion that turned out to be.
Everyone who played the main game already knew about that, though.
The scene where Morgs confuses Jackie for Francais is clearer here too, I think. Snowy did mention how Morgs wasn't quite in her right mind, but it packs a lot more punch actually seeing it from her perspective. Yucky cutting off her arm definitely messed her up pretty bad.
That's the least fitting name yet. Would you please stop coming up with increasingly convoluted nicknames for people? Just call that infernal creature Bestia like everyone else and be done with it.
Or eucalyptics, or eucalyptus, that works too.
Alright, Bestie it is.
That's even worse.
So the two of them are finally reunited and it's very tragic. Jackie is torn. He wants to set her free, but he can't. And the reason for that is again much clearer in Requiem.
Clearer, but still far from convincing.
This is also about the point where he figures out that Francais' ghost is actually a delusion, all in his own mind. I refuse to believe he wasn't real, though. Getting a little off topic here, but in the third door, we see Jackie has a real beef with anything supernatural or not provable by science. And this is where that came from. Oh. Not just the ghost, but the miracle blood was a huge part of that too. It left a mark on his soul that never went away. Huh. Here I thought he was just a wimp who can't handle ghost stories. That's true too.
I'm not surprised.
So Jackie ends up lying to himself about what he really wants and keeps Morgs locked up in the tower.
So that really isn't your kink?
That's the first thing you say after not talking for God knows how long.
It didn't seem appropriate for me to butt into this part. How many times did you tell her, I'm gonna show you the world? Then all you showed her was a big old brick wall.
You don't have to remind me. I feel bad enough about it already.
The Jacopo I knew wasn't the kind of man to do that to a girl. Kinda depressing to even see that even an upstanding guy like you can fall so far.
Yep, while love was one of the big themes of the main game, friendship and companionship was more the focus in Requiem. And all the different ways it can break apart. It's enough to make me cry.
I thought you were incapable of feeling sadness.
I understand loneliness. I can cry about that.
If you say so.
Going a bit out of order, but speaking of friendship, Maria had that real killer bit where she was talking about how everyone was gone and they weren't going to come back and all that. Yeah, that stung like hell. My friends mean more than anything else in the world to me. Ooh, it got super heavy in here real fast, huh? Moving right along. Next up, Boss tries to confront Jackie. Here's where things start diverging from what was in the main game. What you see in Requiem is what actually happened. And the main game is more like a simulation with Snowy thrown in, so things go off course real quickly. On Snowy's very first day, he manages to convince the boy formerly known as Mel to work with him.
Why do you keep calling him that?
I feel like it. Now, because the boy formerly known as Mel switches teams, that night he and Nellie are on the mansion's grounds. Boss comes to look around, sees two strange shadows and decides to push it to the next day. And when she comes back, she bumps into Snowy. So in the main game, she never ends up meeting with Jackie. But in reality, Snowy wasn't there, so the boy formerly known as Mel isn't wandering around to get in Boss's way, so she's able to recomp without any trouble. And the next day, she brings the necklace and the knife and breaks in. She goes all out trying to kill Jackie, but he stops her, breaks her arm, and then has Jackie throw her out. No mercy!
That was me showing mercy, you realize. Normally, an attempt on the Lord's life would be punishable by death. I used the Harvest Festival as an excuse to stop him from killing her.
Yucky was really ready for some blood. And the way he just asks, should I kill so-and-so is hilarious. Not so funny to the so-and-so he's salivating over. So when all that's happened and Jackie sees the necklace, he starts reminiscing about old times and then has a crazy idea. He decides to impersonate his old self, pretending to be the slave man who once saved her from the Lord, who he is now. Talk about super bonkers! I was completely out of my mind at that point, yes. Now I'm gonna try to talk yourself out of that one? How could I? In the main game, Jackie doesn't go up into the tower alone with Morg, so he never gets a good look at her condition. It isn't until they all go up as a group that Snowy points out what bad shape she's in. But in Requiem, he does go up alone, which is how he realizes. He confesses his true feelings, but Morg's is so broken they can't even get through to her soul. So she doesn't hear anything he says. Once Jackie finally comes to his senses, he's finally freed from his shackles. It's really sad it could only happen that way though. But with that off him, he starts treating the people around him a little nicer, like the old Jackie. But it was too little too late, and Morg's died. This leads to a big panic, which Jackie watches from the observation tower. And the rest goes the same in both games. As a side note, Snowy only really needed to get into Jackie's memories to flip the table on Morg's perception. But he kept those memories locked up so super tight, especially everything related to his younger days, that it would have worked if they'd gone straight to him. Plus, Jackie's soul was crazed like a rabid dog, so he wouldn't have listened to Snowy from the beginning. And also, ignoring Yucky and the boy formerly known as Mel would have left their souls in pretty bad shape too. Which is why the main game had to go the way it did. We only got the abridged version of Jackie's past in the main game, but you should just think of it as more proof of how tight he kept it locked up. And while I'm at it, I'd like to elaborate a bit on the curse too. At his death in Requiem, Jackie realizes what he really wanted in life and feels super bad about how much he messed up. But then Morgs is all, from now on, only money and power will be your friends, and puts a curse on his soul. Excuse me, I would rather die than use a tilde in my speech. Which is why, even after figuring it out once, he ends up making the same mistakes and dies all sad and alone again. Kinda tragic, huh? Curse or not, he's still a fucking dick. It wasn't in Morgana's curse that drove him to constantly insult and belittle his wife. But you did push me in that direction, as I recall. That's true. The third door started in a similar place to Jackie's fall into darkness as the Lord. And being a mafioso, he'd probably been worn down a whole bunch from all the betrayals and crazy mafia stuff that happened outside the story. There's only one way to fix this, I think. Make Jackie live a quiet life out in the sticks. And that's it for Cheatin's Review Corner. That was a really good review corner.
Even knowing how it turned out, that was still pretty damn heavy.
Jackie ends up destroying the things he cares most about with his own hands. It's pretty dang grim, yeah?
Now that I think about it, you did kill damn near everyone who had a spirit sprite, didn't you? And if you count breaking Maria's arm as resulting in her death, that makes pretty much the whole gang. That's impressive, kid. You went on a freaking massacre.
Please, that's enough. If you include minor characters and no-names, Francais and Yucky would be neck and neck with him for the gold medal. But Jackie definitely had the most story-relevant kills. Jackie the Ripper! For the love of all that is holy, don't call me that! Ah, he went to go hide in the corner.
I think the 1-2 punch of being compared to a serial killer and seeing that smile would bring down just about anybody.
How the hell do you know about Jack the Ripper? I thought it was pretty funny. Oh wait, this is the extra, of course. Of course you did. You don't comprehend negative emotions. Oh no. Everyone may have died in Requiem, and most of them because of Jackie, but this is the Backstage extra. Whoosh! Everything under the bridge. And what do you plan to do now you've tossed the entire game into the water? How about we go over the characters next? The characters? Yep, for example. Oh. Okay. This is what I look like. And I'm sure everyone's picked up on this already. But according to my outline, I was missing all of my screws right off the bat. And that's why you were always so cheerful. Not because you're optimistic, but because you're mad. Some part of my brain just never turned on, I guess. So not only are you airheaded, even that air is worthless. Also, I have a dull sense of pain.
You'd kinda have to make it through a childhood like... You kinda have to make it through a childhood like that. Didn't come off as bad as it really was, because it was colored by you being eternally happy-go-lucky. Thinking back on it, that was some real dark shit. Especially that whole bit when you were 5.
It seemed pretty normal to me. The world is bad enough without everyone having to go through that. Okay, next up, Beefcake.
Alright. Holy shit, that's a big sword.
It's a leather covering, too.
And here's my full bod. You ladies loving it? What do you think? Look pretty tough, don't I?
Beefcake's profile describes him as a wild animal with an unbeatable competitive streak. He's an act first, think never kind of guy, and the second biggest doofus in the cast only after me.
Hey, no, that's just mean. I mean, I hate planning everything out, but yeah, but still.
He's like a giant huggable gorilla slash big brother figure who tries to fix everything by punching it. You know, I kind of thought about that, why he actually did seem like kind of like a big brother type. Which is one reason him trying to poison Jackie stood out so much. He was so upset it caused him to resort to real underhanded methods.
Hey, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm way stronger than he ever was.
I bet most readers didn't have a very good impression of you with the way you went out either. Yeah, I was...
You think so? It's kinda a downer. Alright, whoosh it all under the bridge, guys.
Whoosh! I'm not dumb enough of an idiot to keep up with these two. But you know, maybe some readers saw what you did coming, Beefcake. There was a line in the main game that went like, I invited an old companion to my manor to discuss matters, but the meeting only turned into an attempt on my life.
Oh my god.
I should have reread the first Fata Morgana again, just to catch up on that. If someone had a really good memory, they could have made that connection and guessed what you'd end up doing.
I guess you kinda got that kinda right. I didn't leave on the best note, and what I did to Jacopo was real shitty. I was cocky and told myself I was better than him in every way. At the same time, I wanted to be, you know, there with him. Maybe I wouldn't have made a good counsel. There are other things I could have done. Like, head of your guard or something. I'd have come running to be a right-hand man if you just sent for me.
You were lonely down there in the slums all by yourself, weren't you?
I don't know. I'd say I was disappointed more than anything. I was ready to help with anything, and I wish he'd used me.
I feel you. Nobody was on the same page for most of the game. I still don't think that justifies trying to kill him.
Whoosh!
Whoosh! Oh, for God's sake. Alrighty, next up is you, Morgs. You can skip me. Nope, you're going to. At least she's got a very good sense of, you know, clothing style. At least I think so. So there's a full view of Morgs. This is when she was still itty bitty and her clothes were way too big. Adorable, huh? Make a few poses for them. Absolutely not. Blah. Also, 12-year-old Morgs is actually shorter than Nelly. But if she was shown at her actual height, the text box would cover her almost all of the way. So her sprites were bumped up a bit. And she's not the only one who's not shown to scale either. Boss is only 160 centimeters tall, but she's placed real high up on the screen. Just pretend she's wearing some wicked heels. Everyone's sprites are positioned so you have a rough idea of the relative heights, so don't take it as true to life. May I be excused? Aw, I was hoping you'd give a comment first. I have nothing to say. Ha! Okie dokie, you're up next, Jackie. Oh, Jackie! Huh?
He's over in the corner making a face like his death, CG.
Oh, you, Jackie. Hey, Morgs says she has something super important to tell you. I beg your pardon.
What is it? I'm all ears.
That took less than 2 seconds. I have nothing to say to you. Go back to your corner and die again. Jesus! Stop, stop, stop! It's your turn to show your full body sprite, Jackie. So perk up and make yourself presentable. Oh geez, I did not notice there was like a little stain there on his left leg there of the cloth. Huh. Nice footwear. I said perk up, not whatever the heck that is.
May I be excused?
Oh, not you too. Why can't you go back to the tough-spirited Jackie from the first half? You were super duper impressive in your fight against Francais.
You think so?
That was certainly your peak, at least. And it was all downhill from there. Orgs! And I was just getting him back in the spirit. We talked a bunch about what kind of character Jackie is already. He's just as inadequate as he looks.
I am not inadequate.
Jackie's got 2 modes. His softer, more approachable mode, and his all business, no fun allowed mode. It's the latter we're almost familiar with. It's not until you see things from his perspective that you realize there's more there. From the outside, Jackie just looks like a big, huge monster. Especially all the ways you killed Snowy in the main game. Talk about ruthless.
It was that man with the sword who did most of the killing, as I recall.
You did shoot him, and you ordered him killed several times.
Maybe that'll teach him to toughen up if he wants to be pro-tag material. How can he call himself the hero if he doesn't even know how to wield a sword? He's got the vitality of a housefly, and a little sunlight's enough to knock him out. How much more pathetic can you get?
He's a pacifist like Gandhi.
Except for that time he attacked me with a goddamn whiskey bottle.
You can't complain about something that happened in a game that was never translated to English. You just confuse the readers. The point is, Snowy's the total opposite of you. Plus, he's actually somewhere in between boy and girl, so you shouldn't be trying to apply your fragile masculinity to him. Oh, that broke Jackie. She didn't even hesitate to reveal his secret. Why on earth does she know that anyway?
Don't joke about that sort of thing. It's not funny.
What? But it's true.
What the hell did that make him?
Can anyone think of anything else about Jackie we haven't mentioned?
He's a lot more skilled with his hands than you'd think.
Oh yeah, that's right. He can even play the lute. Oh, the part where he jacked one from a guy off the street. Yeah, that fucking slayed me. He's not a half bad singer either, but you'd never guess it from looking at him. And that's not something that was added for Requiem either. It came up in the main game too. Remember the flashback in the third door when we were singing together? That was also a short story somewhere where you were humming to yourself. Even the worst Italian ever born is still an Italian at heart.
I guarantee you I'm far from the worst.
But music-y stuff is something you stop doing once you go no fun allowed mode. It gets tossed along with everything else about your younger self. It's too bad you couldn't have kept even one sympathized trait.
If you look closely at the background graphic for the Lord's bedroom, there's a lute in it, though.
Oh my god, that's what it was.
Maybe he did keep playing.
By himself. Oh, lonely. That's pretty sad. Fittingly pathetic.
I shouldn't have said nothing.
I'll take every last one of you out back.
And that about covers Jackie. You're up next, boss. Huh? How come I didn't show my legs like everyone else? You don't have a full body sprite, boss. What? Why the hell do I keep getting the short end of the stick? Sorry, boss. The staff were kind of fumbling around in the dark as they made the games, and it wasn't until Requiem that sprites were given legs. But because of that, it offered a lot more possibilities for animations and stuff. So hopefully you'll give them a break. They're still learning. Oh, alright, fine. Everyone just imagine Boss's beautiful legs.
Give me a second.
Okay, done. Make him sexy as hell. I'm not skilled with that, sorry. So in the third door you came off super scary with the way you betrayed Jackie. But in the final one, you're more of a tough, reliable big sister? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And Requiem focused even more on how much you care about your friends. That's always been who I am. My friends, my family means more than anything to me. Revenge for what the Bearzadas did to my family was what pushed me to go so far on the third door. But God, that damn attack on the brothel in Requiem really did ruin everything. If that hadn't happened, Morgana wouldn't have been taken. Jacopo wouldn't have gotten that dumb idea into his head, and we could all just stayed together. Yep, it all really comes back to that.
Jiren, I'm possessed with the desire to grab you by both cheeks, pull on them as hard as I can, and give you an earful about how you don't have any goddamn right to talk about that event with any words except I'm sorry.
Whew, aggressive much, Jackie?
One of these days, pow!
Although, the main game did end with me and Jacopo not on the best of terms. That's nice that people got to see us enjoying ourselves in Requiem.
I suppose so.
Okie dokie, so that covers the main 5 of us from the slums. Next up is Jackie's favorite council.
Oh, Odilon is going to be here? I don't know how I can face him after how we parted ways. Hey, Jiren, do you think I could wait and do his separate...
Oh, Odilon!
Hey, damn it, let me...
Oh boy, thank you. Oh, it has been much too long. I must confess, I was not expecting to be summoned here.
Hey, nice to see you.
Well, why such a guilty look on your face, my boy? Did you do something you would be ashamed to admit to me? It was but a simple lark. Hold your head high, my lord. I bear much of the blame myself, leaving you behind so early in your growth.
No, I'm not to blame for any of my mistakes.
It was my sworn duty to teach and guide you for the length of your rule. I should have chased that scoundrel out despite your objections. Perhaps even poisoned him myself. Whoa, Grandpa! Getting a little feisty there. Silence, peasant! You are the one who made an attempt on his life. I mean, you got a point, but...
Hey, you're forgetting to whoosh everything under the bridge. Now's the time to have fun. You know, Jacopo, it strikes me.
Yes?
You're not a total shithead when you get someone to keep you in line. Or shit heap, sorry. Like I said, Jackie just needs a friend. A friend would help, sure. Oh, sorry. A friend would help, sure, but what he really needs is someone to kick him in the ass every time he tries to steer the train off a fucking cliff.
That metaphor doesn't even make sense.
Don't try to deflect from the point, asshole.
It is hearted as it is in the right place, at least. Nevertheless, I only knew him for a short spell, and he was a very hard-working man during that time. So, my impression of him is mostly positive.
We should show this old man what a bastard he was during the third door.
I don't think I've ever heard Morgana swear before.
And what did he do in this third door?
He constantly insulted and belittled his wife until he broke her.
My lord, you must show care and respect for your family.
Yeah, you're absolutely 110% correct. I regret everything I did. I spent decades living with that regret.
The reason you turned out that way must be because you had no one in this third door to guide you down the correct path. With no one to open up to, you would wear your mask in perpetuity, all the negativity festering inside until you were permanently corrupt. Ergo, I shall reincarnate in this third door and ensure that does not happen.
You'll what?
I will stand by my lord's side and make certain he does not stray from the path even a single step.
Slow down. Stop. You're going to destroy the main game's whole story.
And good riddance.
Please stay away from it. Jiren, hurry up and show the old man sprite. Show the old man sprite so we can get rid of him. He's going to undermine the entire story. I think it'd be fun to see what he does. No, it wouldn't. Not in the slightest. My curse will have been all for nothing.
Very well. There may regard my old weary frame.
Well, you were one of my favorite characters that I did get to meet in this. You're just a really good guy, I think.
And with that, I shall take my leave.
Oh, you're not going to stay for longer?
The council is supposed to operate from behind the scenes. I'm happy to have been given the opportunity to briefly appear.
If you say so.
Be well, my lord. And may happiness find you in your next life.
Thanks. And you too.
Farewell. Until we meet again.
Alright, that leaves one last character with a full body sprite. Oh no. Let's bring him! Whoa, slow down. I know exactly who you're talking about. You are not bringing that man here, are you? Oh, why wouldn't I? This is supposed to be a fun event where everyone whooshing everything under the bridge. That tyrant has a very different definition of fun than the rest of us. Oh, Francis! Damn it, you actually...
You summoned me.
Go right back wherever the hell you came from!
It appear I've stumbled upon a swarm of filthy maggots. Where's the bug spray, Jiren? I need to clean up this mess.
Francis, bug spray hasn't been invented yet.
Oh, how unfortunate.
There's so much wrong with this I don't even know where to begin. Okie dokie. Could you stand right there and give me your best smile, Francis?
But of course. How could I not grant the wish of my most prized possession?
That's not a smile!
Oh my god. That was glorious. Feast your unworthy mortal eyes upon the noble body of the great Jean-Francois Barnier. My blood is genuine, unlike a certain impostor.
You're giving me goosebumps! I wonder if the real reason Odilon ran off is because he didn't want to run into Barnier. That has to be it. I can't think of any other reason. Francais was the villain for the first half, but by the end I think he seemed like a pretty decent guy. What's everyone else think? I cannot disagree with you more. The mere sight of that man's face makes me want to vomit. Not to mention, he was the one I wanted to curse most. Sure, he did a bunch of really bad things, but he did say a couple super good things. Plus, he fought all real valiant and brave at the end. He's an inspiration.
The Lord could hardly carry out his duties if he cowered in fear at the sight of a couple peasants.
Just cause what he's saying sounds reasonable doesn't mean you can forget he's a crazed mass murderer.
You would call a man entertaining himself with his private property morally objectionable?
Understatement of the fucking century. If this wasn't a damn extra, I'd lop your head off right here.
Like so.
Ah! God damn it.
Child's play.
Don't just pull all that damned graphic without any warning! You're gonna give me a heart attack! My soul left my body for a moment. You can act like you went out in a blaze of glory, but don't forget you were begging for your life at the end.
That hardly counts as begging.
In what universe does, "Oh no, please don't kill me," not count as begging for your life?
One must be crying and clawing their attacker, waiting for mercy through life for a bit of pathetic sobs in order to properly count as begging for their life. I did none of that. Yet, that was precisely the wording used in the main game. I would like to have a word with the author.
The main game was just the short version, so cut him some slack. Your character wasn't fully established at that point.
Do not coddle them. In reality, my character was no more than a vague concept than it was written.
Christ, he's attacking the author now!
You did kind of come off like a third-rate villain in the main game, yeah. Just seeing that, I didn't expect you to be developed the way you were in Requiem. And I'm actually glad for that. Like, good God. I would say he needed to have a real firm driving force behind him, even as the big baddie, where he'd fall flat in his final confrontation against Jackie. Plus, he also had the super important responsibility of getting Jackie's head after he was dead. So he needed to be big and imposing, or he couldn't do that. Makes sense. On a slightly different subject, I just remembered the whole deal with you having your eye on someone back in the first part. Yeah? Well, to start, this is what you said at the Midsummer Festival. He's got trouble expressing his feelings. He kinda looks angry a lot of the time. He can be pretty haughty, but I think he's a pretty great guy, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep, that was me.
Tell me, Jiren, in what way does that man have trouble expressing his feelings?
You don't think he does? The whole reason he had to kill his family is because he couldn't talk to them about what he was feeling.
Those are not the same kind of feelings we're talking about.
No?
Whatever, moving on. He kind of looks angry a lot of the timeline. Kinda doesn't even begin to describe it.
It's the perfect fit in my mind.
I refuse to believe that.
Moving on, the other two I can sort of buy, at least. He can be pretty haughty, and I think he's a pretty great guy.
So you two were a thing?
You betcha!
We most certainly were not.
Huh? Oh, Francais, you don't need to be shy just because there are other people around.
You seem to be confused, Jiren. I did say that you were the second most important thing in the world to me after myself. But I never said I meant so romantically.
What does that make me then?
My pet.
Your pet?
Surely even you will feel something about that.
I'm more than happy to be your pet. I get food, a bed, and lots of attention. It's perfect.
You never let me down, Jiren. Very well then. Run the circle and bark for me.
Woof, woof, woof.
I can't deal with this.
In any other backstage event, it would be the embodiment of fragile masculinity over there making all the ruckus. But it would seem the two of them have somehow managed to outclass him. Jiren, this covers all the characters, right? We're all done here now. Because I'd like to be on my way. Oh, do you really not want to spend any more time with little old me, Morgs? It has nothing to do with spending time with you specifically. But there are two men here I would like out of my presence as soon as humanly possible.
Morgana, please tell me I'm wrong here. And you're not putting me in the same category as him? It genuinely hurts being lumped in with that monster. I feel like I've been kicked in the gut.
So if you don't mind, I'll be taking my leave now.
And going where?
See Michelle, obviously.
Every single time! Why is it always Michelle with you?
Because he's the one who ultimately led me to salvation.
You know, that doesn't nullify everything we had between us.
No. You did a perfectly good job of that all by yourself.
Fuck.
Now, so long, everyone.
Wait!
Jackie, this is the time for you to go after her. You locked up both Morgs and half her soul. A little stalking should be a piece of cake for you.
That just makes it sound like I'm some sort of deviant! Damn it. I was going to go after her anyway. I'll just sit here with my thumbs up my ass while she goes to see him.
Break a leg. And not hers. I'm a tag along too. This sounds like fun.
I feel like this has become slightly awkward.
You have no fucking idea, dude.
What? You're leaving me alone with the two of them?
Oh my god. Oh my god, now we're over here. Oh, great.
So, Michelle, what book should we read together next?
The classic we read last time almost put me to sleep. Harsh reminder of how much my mind is acclimated to the times.
Then how about something lighter and more modern? So perhaps Harry Potter.
What in heaven's name was that?
Is someone trying to break in? I'll call the police.
You stay there. I'll go look.
Was there no nicer way to get here? And what in my father's name are you doing here? I couldn't let you go see her alone! Get your hands off me, you wretch! Wretch? Morgs, you're squishing me! Could you get off? Oh, for heaven's sake.
I know that voice.
So do I. Ugh, what a nightmare. Nice to see you again. What? Why are you staring? Oh, you don't understand how it just popped in out of nowhere? Well, you know, this is one of those backstage extras, so a little bit of space-time distortion is... Oh my gosh, she's the most adorable thing I've ever seen! Well... Look at how small she is! I just want to squeeze her to bits! I would really rather you didn't. You agree with me, don't you, Michelle? Isn't Tiny Morgana the most precious thing in the world?
She's a lovely girl, yes.
Oh, is that so? I beg your pardon!
Wonderful. The noisy one's here too.
The Michelle I know would never say that. You're supposed to be an emotionally and socially stunned shut-in.
A lot can change in a millennium. I seem to recall speaking my mind during the final chapter anyway.
1,000 years isn't long enough to dethrow King Neat.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm currently both employed and in a relationship that lets me go on dates outside.
I nearly fell asleep just listening to you describe that.
Let that aside.
You're looking quite young, Jacopo.
Well, it's a long story.
Beep, beep. Who's this young lady? I'm Jiren, the heroine of a Requiem for Innocence. Excuse me, that's my title, thank you very much.
Since you've accepted your position as the story's heroine, does that mean you also accept you have a fated connection to me, the hero?
Never mind, Jiren, you keep the role.
At least consider it!
I'll bring everyone something to drink. Oh my god, this is so glorious. Well, thank you for catching us up. It's been a while since we've done one of these. How exciting!
And it's also kind of nice being in a different role this time.
Going around talking to everyone is a lot of work, yeah. I would have much preferred you to him.
What are you doing standing over there?
Ah, we split up under light side and dark side groups.
The two of us have been through so much already. I'd like for the rest of our lives to be nice and relaxed. Even outside of canon.
Our story this time was happy from start to finish.
It was a very lovely date, yes.
3 seconds till Jackie's gasket blows. 3, 2, 1.
Don't give a countdown, you lout! It doesn't even make any sense. You can't end the main story like that. And then follow it up with a bunch of empty fluff. Who gives a damn about you eating popcorn? Me?
Do you prefer yours sweet or salty, Jacopo?
Salty.
You are what you eat. That said, I do agree that such a light-hearted, relaxed story feels out of place in the same package as Requiem. However...
What?
It's entirely your fault Giselle had to spend a millennium as the maid. If you were just able to behave like a reasonable, damned human being, all of this could have been avoided.
Everyone gets a chance to lay the smackdown on Jockey here. It was a long, long time ago, though. Let's put the past behind us and enjoy this special occasion.
Oh, Giselle.
Besides, that period of my life isn't just a bad memory to me anymore. Sure, it was hard to get through, but I wouldn't be here with Michelle as happy as I am if it wasn't for that. All's well that ends well.
The main game may have had a good ending, but Requiem most certainly did not. Alright, let's talk about something else. I'm gonna die of an ulcer at this rate. Michelle, Jen was telling me something curious earlier.
And what would that be?
That, That you're, well, how should I put this?
Just spit it out. You're giving me the creeps.
That you're physically only partly a man.
First of all, where on earth did Jiren hear that? And second, why the hell would you bring that up in a casual conversation topic?
I guess it's safe to assume she was telling the truth.
I'm sorry, Snowy. I never mean to hurt anyone.
But she frequently does, because her head's as empty as Jacopo's heart.
Also, is Snowy referring to me?
Your nickname, isn't it?
Sure, I suppose. Call me whatever you want. Fine.
Do you have a nickname for me? Our names both start with J sounds, so that'd get confusing. Let's see here. How about... Ooh.
Don't you dare finish that word! Oh my god, I know what she was about to say.
Okay, Elliotese. Yay, it feels so nice to be called by a nickname.
Quite frankly, it's not a detail I wanted to go spreading around. As my body was the source of much torment in my life.
Michelle and I traveled down similar paths. I was a saint who became a witch, and he an angel who became a demon. Or that is how we were seen by others, at least. The both of us, we are like unto God, and you are as far from God as man can fall. Well, that doesn't change what I think. That you're just an ordinary girl. Nothing special, breathing the same air as me.
Well, I was the one who helped her turn back from a witch in the main game. You should offer her your hand next time. If there is a next time. And don't let go.
I've made it perfectly clear I have no intention of our souls crossing paths ever again. And he's already said his goodbyes as well.
However insignificant the chance may be, it's human nature to want to root for it to happen.
One such improbability was the last scene of our story in this game. We managed to reunite, so I'm sure everyone else will too.
If, by some cruel twist of fate, I'm to cross paths with him again, I will still never forgive him. I don't expect you to. In any event, didn't the author say somewhere I was supposed to reincarnate into a butterfly or a cat or something similar?
Ideas come and go. Consider that yet another of many possibilities. That would have been a much crueler twist of fate than anything. Requiem was already much darker than I had anticipated. All I had seen before this was bits and pieces of his past. It's hard not to pity him for the way everything crumbled around him in his younger days. And I didn't know how the ending played out either. I always assumed he just kept his feelings to himself and let Morgana die. So I was surprised when he actually told her at the end. Of course, he waited far too long and never got through to her.
Well, you know what? If there actually is a continuation of the story,
I would like to see, like, possibly Jacopo could try to make it up to Morgana, possibly.
What's the matter? Oh, I'm sorry. What's the matter, Snowy? You're starting off into space.
It's nothing. In any event, good luck to you.
I don't need your damn well wishes.
Very well then.
It'd be amazing if we could meet up in the present day too, Morgs. I bet we'd be right at about the same age, maybe in secondary school together. We could even be in the same class. That'd be great. I would drop out the first day. Oh, why do you have to be like that, Morgs? You never stop talking. And I'll try to talk less. But I really want to be your friend again, Morgs. And there's all sorts of stuff we could do together, like go shopping for cute clothes. And because I'm such a big doof, my grades would be terrible, and you could help me study for tests and stuff. Oh, and then Francais could be our teacher and it'd be perfect! A perfect nightmare!
I'd expect that class would show up on the news within the first month.
No shit.
Yeah.
We, seem to have gotten off track. May I ask why you're asking about what's between my legs?
I just thought I might have to be more careful with my words if it was true.
Are you even capable of choosing your words?
Oh, for the love of God!
Your tongue's gotten much sharper, Michelle.
I have had 1,000 years to work on it. Now, you don't need to get weird or walk on eggshells. I'm a man. That's all there is to it. My being intersex does not change who I know myself to be. And this body is no longer a cause of fear or anxiety. I've made peace with who I am. You should too.
Very well. It seems prying was not required. I will continue to treat you the same as I always have.
Please do. You know, while I'm not at all fond of your high and mighty act, that was actually moderately decent of you.
Only moderately?
Much more agreeable like this, and far less grating to speak with as well.
Lord/Business Jacopo is a massive riot, though.
Never once have I tried to get a laugh out of someone.
Oh yeah, Jacopo. In your description of the main game's website, it said, you will readily toss aside anything to achieve your goals. It just struck me that you yourself was one of those things you threw out. Dumped his whole life right into the garbage he did.
Put a sock in it.
Try to be a little more selective about what you get rid of next time. At heart, you're not a completely evil man.
So back to the previous topic, Snowy. You said your body's the same in this life as before?
That's correct. I used my wish at the end of the main game to reunite with Giselle. But I have no misgivings about my body anymore. I've embraced who I am, and I'm firm in my identity. But the most important thing to me is being with her.
And together there's nothing we can't accomplish.
Indeed.
Save it for when you don't have company.
Well, I hope you have a fulfilling life.
What?
Huh? What?
Why are you all giving me that look?
Can you blame us? No one expected to hear those words coming out of your mouth.
The sky's going to fall tomorrow. Did you eat something you shouldn't have?
Every time I try to say something nice, this always happens.
With Fata Morgana, we've now got double blessings. We're unstoppable.
We have a long, happy life ahead of us.
Well, it's about time we hopped on back to our own time period. Yes, you two go on home. I live here now, in between the two of them. It's the perfect fit for me in every sense of the word.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I could just literally see, like, Giselle and Michelle adopting Morgana, trying to give her, like, a fantastic and happy life, you know? I could just see that.
there's no room for either of you. Farewell, Jacopo, Jiren. May our souls never cross paths again in the boundless sphere of fate. Should I drag her back?
No.
What? Hey, let's go! Get your filthy hands off of me!
Quit whining and move your butt.
Do you want me to bite you?
Go right ahead.
Fucking... The little brat, she actually did it! Bye, Snowy. Bye, Ellie. It was nice meeting you. And thanks for helping Jackie open up a little.
We didn't do anything.
I hope we can all meet again someday. I'll miss you, Jiren. Me too.
Goodbye. Until we meet again.
Bye! Vroom! She was quite a lively girl.
That she was.
But I had fun, and there were some nice surprises.
Indeed. Young Morgana showing up was certainly unexpected.
Plus, Jacopo being unusually open and Jiren being this bright ball of energy were both wonderful. But the best part of all was definitely getting to see you smiling so much with everyone else, Michelle.
Oh, you don't need to worry so much about me anymore, Giselle. Aww. This is too much for me.
Ooh! Where'd the space-time distortion take us this time?
Get your hands off of me already, or I'm going to curse your soul for all eternity. I thought you said you would have nothing to do with me anymore, including no curses.
Why are you suddenly back on your high horse?
More like I'm back on my game.
Please, just let this be over. Just because we're currently outside of canon doesn't mean I'm going to ignore anything you did in canon. All the pain and misery you caused me is still real. No amount of joking will ever make it go away. You're an irredeemable monster.
I know. I just hope that one day I can make it so the good memories far outnumber the bad. I know you said we won't ever cross paths again, but I still want to atone for what I did to you, and the other half of your soul. That's all I want.
Your efforts will all be in vain.
Maybe. But I'll deal with that when I come to it. I hate to interrupt this really serious conversation, but how long are we going to have to wait here off to the side?
Hey, look! It's the boy formerly known as Mel.
What? Then who am I now? And who the heck are you?
I'm Francais' pet.
Hey, don't use that name, you buffoon! He'll think you're talking about me! What? You mean the man standing right there? Jean-Francais Barnier? Though he's a bit younger than I remember. I know you were a creep, but now you're making people into pets? You've hit rock bottom. You want another taste of my fist, huh, punk? For the record, I am not the man she calls Francais. I won't go into the details, but I just had to assume his name. Sure, whatever you say. Wait, hold on a second. Maybe I'm just imagining, but you... Barnier, or whatever your name is, don't seem like so much of a stuck-up jerk as I remember.
The boy formerly known as Mel is starting to freak out.
Stop that! I'm not formally known as anything!
Ah! It's the Saintess!
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this! She's so tiny! A mini Saintess! She's adorable!
Would you please stop shouting in my ear? You're going to make me go deaf.
Come have tea over here with me, Saintess. I got rose petals to put in the teacups to make it even yummier. And there's also cake loaded with sugar. Oh, that sounds great! I want some cake too! I don't know who you are, but I'm such a nice girl, I'll let you have some too. Yahoo! Oh, for God's sake, get me out of here.
I'm not going to have snacks with you. And you sure are unusually clingy considering how much you despise the other half of my soul.
The first star goes whoosh right under the bridge.
It's spreading. It's pretty crazy how girls can go from nothing to friends in the blink of an eye, huh?
Oh yeah, so who's the dirty hobo?
don't look that bad!
Every boy other than my first and second brothers is gross by default, so you have to try a lot harder than that. When Jackie starts trying to impress people, he gets drunk on money and power, so please don't encourage him.
It got quite lively in here while we were away.
Hey guys, it's been forever. I haven't seen you in... Well, I haven't seen two of you before at all.
I swear, every last one of you has the same reaction!
He says he's the Lord and that due to plot contrivances, he's younger than we knew him.
The Lord. Hmm?
It's not that hard to make the connection, is it?
The Lord was more purple, I thought.
Don't associate people with their clothes! Use their faces, you brain-dead feral dog!
I'm beginning to wonder if Yucky would ever be able to tell the difference between you and Francais, even if he wasn't nutso. Also, where's my second brother and the maid? Didn't they come with you?
They're busy flirting with each other in the present day.
Oh, that's no fair. I want to see the present day too. If you wish hard enough, maybe you'll end up there. There's tons of different cakes to choose from too. Let's go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh shit, I'm in the mood for cheesecake now.
I want to go too, but I put on some weight recently, and I'm trying to shake it off. I don't want him to abandon me because I'm not to his liking.
I love women with powerful appetites, Pauline.
Aww. The Cheesecake Factory, here I come. Hooray! We can all go together!
I can't even bring myself to make a jab about how he always says exactly what she wants to hear.
You'll come with us too, won't you, my dearest Mel?
What? Me? I don't know. I really feel awkward being the only guy with a bunch of girls. There's going to be so many of them there.
If you want to fit in better, you can just dress up like a girl.
Why is that the first thing your mind jumps to?
I think you look dashing as a girl, dearest Mel. You two would make a lovely pair of sisters. Then we'll have to go dress shopping for mail first.
Could you please not?
If you want to come, Jackie, we can dress you all up nice and all pretty too.
Like hell. And don't try to get a reaction out of me either, because it won't work.
I didn't know you were into that, Lord.
You seem to really want to relive my face obliterating your gut, boy.
I would kind of like to see that, though. Not the Lord, but Yukimasa.
What? What? Pauline, if that is what you truly desire of me.
You are allowed to say no, you realize?
If we're only here to faff about like fools, then I will be taking my leave.
You're just looking for any excuse to bail, aren't you?
You seem really prickly and not in a very good mood, Saintess. More so than usual, I mean.
That shouldn't be any surprise when the most upsetting man in the world is still in my line of sight.
I don't think there's much for us to talk about this time, really. Yeah, what the heck? I barely got any screen time in this game. I'm calling my lawyer.
And I'll even look more pathetic after this.
You're only useful if you got Snowy to nudge you in the right direction, boy formerly known as Mel.
I'm not... Never mind, it's not worth it.
I too lost a few points in this story. Thought at Angel's Hill, the both of us end up villains.
I actually feel like you might have gained some points. You were kind of more controlled here than in the main game.
Very true. Hey, Yucky, could you do your catchphrase for me?
My catchphrase.
Pretend a violent goon just came crashing through the window, and you can do whatever you want to him.
Shall I kill him?
Yes!
I'm not sure I would call that a catchphrase.
Yukimasa, remember what we agreed on? No more talking like that?
Of course, Pauline. I was merely acting for the girl.
Oh, okay. That's a relief. I may need to curse the beast again.
Anyway, he was a monster from start to finish. And everyone came into this knowing that. So I doubt public opinion is any worse than it already was.
We even got to see his wicked smile more times than in the main game, if I'm counting right.
Well, he's nothing if not consistent. Michelle may have talked him into helping out, but he never actually felt shame or regret about what he'd done.
The closest he gets to breaking free from that is in the second duel. Maybe what we need to do is knock his memories out of him again.
And bring Bestia back. Are you out of your mind?
That said, I am glad I got to see everyone again, even at the cost of my reputation. I hope we can do this again sometime.
I explicitly said we wouldn't, as you might recall.
I mean, I guess, but...
As times change, so too does the heart, Saintess.
That's right. Well said, Nellie.
It'd be super sad if you ended Requiem in the same place as the main game. Besides, you need to come to the Cheesecake Factory with us.
You're never going to stop talking about this place, are you? You're all free to believe what you want. Nothing is going to change where I stand on this matter.
You're a stubborn Saintess.
That is sort of a prerequisite to cursing someone for a millennium, yes?
Didn't you say that strong wishes come true, though? So I'll wish really hard for us to see each other again.
Does your us include my other half? The white-haired girl?
What?
You can't stand her, can you?
I'll play nice with her next time, I promise. I'm not the girl I used to be. Not anymore.
I see. Well, if by some impossibly remote chance you do run into her, be sure to apologize. I doubt she bears any ill will over it, though.
That's a promise. I'll tell her I'm sorry and make up for what I did.
He's surprisingly well behaved with Morgana around.
Although she was completely destroyed, so no amount of wishing will ever bring her back. But I won't stop you from trying.
Alright.
Now, I think it's about time we wrap this up. It's dragged on for far too long.
It's not like we get to do this more than once a game, so I don't see a problem with taking it at a relaxed pace.
There's relaxed, and then there's running around like a bunch of chickens with your heads cut off. You are firmly in the latter category. Now farewell, everyone, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate.
Bye-bye, Saintess. See you.
I hope we get to meet again eventually.
Young saint, I pray your next life may be a peaceful one. I swear I will never cause you any more pain.
Goodbye. Stop dawdling, you two. We're leaving.
Right. Later, guys. It was great meeting you.
So long. And see you again, perhaps. A fitting place to end, I suppose. This always was the story of a cursed mansion. Hey now, aren't you forgetting about someone? What?
Imion! Although now that I know what you are, I'm not entirely sure what I should do about your voice. Fuck it, I'll just keep with it.
What's up?
Hey, it's Mr. Mask.
That's got to be your worst one yet, Jiren. Oh, right. I forgot your story was included in this too.
Come on, you're just gonna forget one of the best stories in the game.
Ooh, no idea what he looks like, but he sounds hot.
Imion is a woman.
Oh. Huh.
Hey, both guys and gals can be hot. And I'd put my money down on me being a better man than every other damn guy in this game.
I can't really argue with that. Who exactly is this, anyway?
Right back at you, buddy. Who are you?
The hero!
I have the strangest urge to stick those smoke teeth in right now. Kick those, sorry. Besides, wouldn't it make more sense for Michelle to be here to go over my heart?
You're 100% correct.
Let's leave this worthless man behind and go visit him in the present. Stop right there! I'm not letting you go there again after how hard I had to fight to bring you back. Fine. Then I'll summon Michel here. He's probably busy flirting with Giselle right about now.
I'd feel terrible interrupting. Just let it be.
I thought you wanted to see him.
Oh, I'm not denying that. I'm just hoping our reunion can be under different circumstances. Next time I see him, I want to be such a hottie his eyes jump out of his skull. Not this sad imitation of his own. Can you imagine the look on his face when he sees what I've been like? It's gonna be great.
Michel has grown enough that I'm sure he'll have no trouble being friends with you even after he learns you're not a man.
Damn straight he will. I pick him better than that.
God, he has a job, friends, a girlfriend. How much more typically good guy can he get? Don't you dare insult Michel. For God's sake, will everyone stop reading my mind? So, Impy, at the end of your story, was that like you're a boy inside me?
I'm a woman through, despite this goddamn voice I gave. Just pretend to be a guy for Michelle. I'll give you a female voice if I ever get to it. If you pop up in her... I do swing both ways, though. If you ever meet another life, I'd like to take you out for drinks. Or anyone else.
Oh, so you're bi. Well then, she's trying to pick up someone she met 5 minutes ago. My heart skipped a beat. I'm getting serious Lady Oscar vibes from you, Emmy. Well, I suppose we should talk a bit about Ascento Daily. That story was originally included in a preview pamphlet distributed before the main game was released, making it rather old. It was then reimagined into game form for inclusion in Requiem.
The general beats of the story are the same in both versions. There's more meat on this one. Plus, makes my motivations a little clearer.
Making it so you started out getting close to Michel for a less than known purpose, then slowly warmed up to him. Gave the ending a little more weight, I suppose. And as a side note, Emion was also briefly referenced in the main game. During the scene in the mansion where Michelle's spirit is breaking down, there's a line that goes, "At one point, a man with an unusual disease stumbled across the mansion while wandering through the forest. There's little more to be said. There's little more to be said about that." The man it's talking about there is Emion.
That's not all. In the final chapter, he sings a song to the flaxen-haired little girl, right? And he says, "It's a song an old acquaintance of mine heard while traveling." That acquaintance is me.
Oh yes, I never made that connection. But it makes sense. There's no one else he could have heard it from. He would have said as much if it was from Giselle or his brothers. You ended up having a bigger part in the main game than I realized.
I'm glad I was finally able to show up in proper here.
That reminds me, didn't a rough modern-day design for you show up in the short game released after the first popularity contest? It did, but I'm not sure why you're bringing up something readers would have no way of knowing since it's not available in English. How was I supposed to know that?
You were called out for that exact thing just a few scenes back. Anyway, sorry for anyone reading this who happens to have seen that design, but it's staying in the idea a bit for now.
When that game was released, they still hadn't settled on what Requiem would end up being. They were exploring a bunch of possibilities, one of them being so make the following a light, cheerful game, which is where that came from. But they decided they really wanted to make something with more substance, that was also capable of standing on its own. So they poured their heart and soul into making the Requiem you have in your hands now, and I hope you're satisfied with how it turned out. I am extremely satisfied. Even though I am going well beyond my recording time, I cannot stop, I don't care.
Yep, that about covers it.
You know, ever since this Backstage event started, you felt more like you're colluding with the author than the Lord. Don't think too hard about it. Now to talk a bit about the game you actually got. The main theme of Ascento Daily was friendship. That's a thread common in most of the stories included in Requiem, in fact. friendship and how easily those bonds can break. Very sad stuff.
My friendship with Michelle is fine and well. I just kicked the bucket a bit soon.
You and Jackie were both real fixated on finding far-off utopias, though. Your heart's off in dreamland. You're not seeing what you already have within reach.
All I have in reach right now is a first connection.
There.
So the time period is a big factor that happened to us too. My disease is much more manageable presently. Michelle wouldn't get sentenced to death by the church now, right? I think it wasn't so much a physical place for grief. In the far future.
My eyes are leaking. I thought you couldn't feel sad. Hush up and read the room.
Well, if I had my spot in the limelight, I had my spot. Somewhere else.
I hope we can see each other again sometime, Amy. Everyone's going to the Cheesecake Factory.
What?
It's a place where you can get all the cake in the world. Me and the other girls all decided we were going.
Something fun. I suppose I'll join you. Wait till you.
It's not that kind of buffet.
Hey now. Or managed to read someone else's mind.
Crude savages, the both of you. Let's be off then. Farewell, Naomi. Should our souls somehow cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate, I will consider acknowledging your existence.
What kind of a goodbye is that? My gut tells me that it's some kind of ridiculously backhanded compliment. But I ain't gonna catch on. Later, gang.
Goodbye.
Bye!
Oh my god, thank you for doing that.
Yippee, we're back! Took you fucking long enough.
I only fell asleep a couple times.
Hey, where's Francais? I booed his royal ass back where he came from. Can you imagine how absurd it would look for the three of us to just be chilling down here together waiting for you to come back? Shaw?
You had me scared for a bit there. I was worried I might not make the cut for the final get-together either.
Why wouldn't you? You're one of the gang.
I just feel real fucking bad about what I did. And don't think I deserve to be called that anymore.
Oh, I didn't realize you were capable of feeling regret, Beefcake.
You're the last person I want to hear anything about feelings from.
Come on, Morgana. I'm staying right here. Get your little ass moving! I know you have complicated feelings about all this, and that I have absolutely no right to make you do anything. But this was still our story. So we should be there. Fine.
The gang's all back together. Woo! And with this, our story is officially over. Aww. Thank you all so much for sticking around for it. Now, for some parting words from our heroine, Morgs. What? It'd be weird for me to have the last word in your game. You can't expect me to come up with something on the spot. Okay, Jackie, you can go first. You think about what you're gonna say while he's talking.
What? What am I supposed to say?
Whatever, just buck up and say something.
To all of you out there reading this, I obviously have no idea what you think, how you feel about our story, our lives, but I hope at least it was something that left an impression, that will stick with you. While I ended up screwing things up beyond belief, it was still my life, and I fought tooth and nail to make the best of the hand I was dealt. So, it would mean a lot to me if some part of that could find meaning beyond the four edges of this screen. And I'm not sure what else to say. Well, I sincerely appreciate you sticking around this long. Hey, I took a chance going into Fata Morgana, and I did not regret it one bit. And I honestly look forward to what I understand there's actually another installment, and I honestly look forward to it. Thank you. That's it for me.
Nice! Now you're up, Morgs. Very well. Looking back, this series has been inactive in some form or other for quite a number of years. Whether you've been following along since the beginning, or only recently discovered Fata Morgana, I offer unto you my blessings. Farewell, until we meet again. Okie dokie, everyone, give me your biggest smile. Bye-bye!
Thank you so much very much for playing our game. As the author, I would not normally make any sort of comment within the game itself. But with this being a side story, a bonus of sorts, I'd like to bend the rules a bit and extend my gratitude to you directly. I would also like to offer my sincerest apologies for the delays in a Requiem for Innocence release, and thank you kindly for your patience. Dude, I don't care. Stuff like this is definitely worth the wait. TL note. The lock team did not consume enough caffeine to keep their deadline and have been locked up to take time to reflect on their mistakes. Oh my god, that's awesome. Requiem is a deeply unpleasant and painful story, but I try to sprinkle little morsels of hope throughout it. So hopefully you aren't coming away from it with a terrible aftertaste. As was mentioned in Imio's segment, we considered a number of possibilities for a follow-up to the house in Fata Morgana. But ultimately, we settled on the story of Jacopo and Morgana's past. I apologize to anyone who's hoping for something lighter, but this was the best way to touch on the themes I wanted to explore, and it feels like it fits in better with Fata Morgana this way. I'm glad I was able to tell this story, and I pray you were able to enjoy it. I enjoyed every single bit of it, even though there were a couple of times where I almost vomited. Then again, that was my choice because I happened to eat spaghetti on the very same night where no, it was lasagna, I think. I happened to eat lasagna on the same night that we had a cannibal banquet. In writing Requiem, I spent many hours digging through the text of the original game's final chapter to make sure I didn't introduce any inconsistencies. While you saw only small glimpses of what was in their hearts there, I feel like I was able to flesh that out and give it real life here. Jacopo particularly was shackled by something until the very end, and I think I managed to expound on what exactly was there. I can't exactly say whether he'll be able to free himself from those shackles anytime soon, but I imagine he will at least be trying. Let's put that hard-working trait to good use. Moving forward from Requiem's timeline, we know he makes the same mistakes in the main game's third door. But perhaps he too will be able to reclaim himself when he's released from the witch's curse. Maybe I should make him do a Reclaim Yourself marathon like Michelle. Now, while I said I was glad I could tell the story, I must confess it was, in a way, more difficult for me to write than Fata Morgana. Though there was a great deal of pain and suffering in the main game as well, it was not brought on by Michel's own failures, and in the end, his actions are still good. Requiem is very much the opposite, though. Writing a character who knows what they're doing is wrong, hates themselves for doing it, yet still barrels head down first down that path was somewhat maddening to do. That said, I didn't get to write much of Jacopo not putting on an act in the main game, so hopefully you enjoyed seeing what's beneath the mask. There are a number of characters in Fata Morgana with multiple personas, and that's an especially deep-rooted aspect of Jacopo's character. In fact, one of the reasons Jiren was so utterly lacking in pretense is because I felt like that was a big part of too many existing characters. So I made her the exact opposite. Getting inside Morgana's head was also rather difficult. She described her time at the brothel as when she learned to experience joy, so I especially wanted to focus on making her feel more human. While she released herself from her curse at the end of the main game, that only brought her back from in the negatives to dead neutral. And I hope one day she's able to turn squarely toward positive. A Requiem for Innocence was not only Jacopo and Morgana's story, but it was also a story of friendship, companionship, and growth. The characters from the main game didn't have much in the way of proper interactions there, so I'm glad I was able to use the first half of Requiem to show them having fun and living their lives without sacrificing what makes Fata Morgana what it is. I'm especially fond of the Midsummer Festival scene and Jacopo carrying Morgana on his back under the sunrise. I know that was such a really nice scene. What were your favorite parts? Well, literally what you just said! Well, I suppose it's time to draw the curtains for real. Thank you so very much for spending your time with me in the house in Fata Morgana. And I hope that one day we may cross paths again. Achievement unlocked. Backstage. Oh my god. Well, I think that seems like a pretty good place to end it. So. Again, I'm stuck in that point where I can't find the right words to properly describe how this makes me feel. But I feel sad, but also happy that I completed this. Sad that I'm gonna have to wait until what Novatal's next project is, or wait until what's in store for Fata Morgana in general. But I think with a story like this, it's worth waiting for. Granted, I started this Let's Play very close to the date that this actually came out. I mean, it was like one of those things where I really couldn't wait and I had to get started immediately. But, what the? Bonus track. Fragment? A small reward for completing the game. There's more? Oh my god, there's actually more? So, what's on the agenda for the day? What I want to do? There isn't anything in particular. Don't give me that look. I don't know what people do for recreation, because unlike someone, I didn't live a life of leisure and luxury. Yes, that's right. I'm a dreadfully boring person. I imagine you began to regret bringing such a dull girl with you. None the slightest. If you say so. Oh my god, is this what I think it is? But you choose what we're doing today, alright? Huh? You want me to sing? I don't mind. What are you laughing about? You didn't think I would agree? Okay, fine, I won't sing. Puppy dog eyes won't change my mind either. That's that. I'm not going to sing. Alone, that is. Yes, you're singing with me. Go find someone who has a lute and ask to borrow it. You don't get a say in the matter. You did ask to borrow that, right? And got permission? None of the shenanigans you pulled at the festival? We need to remain on good terms with everyone if we're going to live here. Well, good. I'm glad you could manage that much. At some point, if we're going to do this again, you should purchase your own so you don't have to borrow one. It would certainly make things simpler, wouldn't it? Next time a merchant is in town, if they're selling a lute, buy it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, as long as it has strings capable of making music. That's adequate. And if it's out of tune, you can tune it. You can at least manage that, can't you? This is new. It's exactly how you described it, all those many years ago. Fields of wheat as far as the eye can see, swaying back and forth like waves in an ocean of gold. I'd assumed that after all this time, you would have lost your fondness for such rustic scenery. That you preferred bustling cities, heavily guarded fortresses, and merchants peddling unusual wares. But it seems I was wrong. Thankfully. Yes, I am quite fond of areas like this. They're pleasant and relaxing. I wonder if this really is where my real father came from. Never told you this, but in my village I was revered as a saint, worshipped as the daughter of God. And to this day a part of me still sees myself as such. You're just an ordinary girl. Maybe so. You've said as much so many times now, I'm almost beginning to believe it.
That is entirely on you, yes. If I truly am, then I have a father somewhere. One night, I overheard my mother muttering something. At the time, I assumed it was just a dream, but if what she said was true, my father was a mere vagrant. A man whose face I never once saw, whose name I never heard. Would you like to meet him? Frankly, I'm not sure. I wouldn't know what to say even if I did. He might not even know I exist. It didn't sound like he had any interest in staying with my mother, which does not speak particularly well of his character. If he had chosen to stay instead of abandon her, then she wouldn't have had to lie about having a virgin birth. Maybe we could have even been a normal family. The entire course of my life could have been different. But why is that your first reaction? You're not going to hunt him down and give him a piece of your mind? No. Any form of violence is forbidden. Not even if it's for my sake. Too many people have been hurt already. Which is to say I don't understand what you meant. You said the world would tremble all over you if you didn't have the strength to fight back. As children, we were both helpless to fight back against a cruel world. But I stand by what I said. No more. I once believed you to be a weak man. But I've realized I was mistaken. I now know you have more than enough strength. Enough to take the lives of countless men. Some part of me always knew. But that's all the more reason. I don't want you to hurt anyone else, ever again. Take any more lives. Alright, I won't. You swear it? I will have no choice but to deem you utterly irredeemable if you break that promise. Understood? What? No, that doesn't mean I think you presently have redeeming qualities. Have you lost your mind? Honestly, this is not the time for silly "do you like me" games. Don't tell me you're waiting for an answer. Because you're never getting one. What? Fine, if you wanted to know what I think so badly. No, I don't much care for you. Oh yes, so I was wondering. Other towns celebrate midsummer as well, yes? I see. So it's a fairly standard summertime tradition. If you asked me to go, I would not object. What? Yes, I'm not particularly fond of the commotion, but it's a unique experience. There were no such festivals in the village where I was born. It was so small, there was little in the way of entertainment to speak of. Perhaps I was their entertainment. A real saint appearing would indeed be cause for celebration. Life in the Lord's custody was miserable, but I'm not sure it would have been much different had I stayed. Maybe getting out was ultimately better for me. It was hardly all good times, by any stretch of the imagination, but it did allow me to experience a more normal world. Oh, there you go again. I've long since tired of hearing you go on about ambitions. Yes, I know. My definition of normal is too impoverished for you. I've heard it a dozen times now. But this is what I know. So climb down off your high horse and just. I'm not so accommodating a girl as to unconditionally support you in your endless endeavors to climb up and up and up. In fact, I intend to kick you back down anytime you start trying. So keep yourself in check. I used to think I didn't have any right to interfere with your dreams. But now I'll be doing everything in my power to stand in your way. Keep that in mind. Then I'll just have to find a new dream. Excuse me? So you're going to look for a different way to be a fool then? Did you hear a single word I said? Every single one, yes. Why do I even bother? So, what madness is brewing in that hollow skull of yours now? I'm going to win your heart. That was even worse than I imagined. You're possibly the world's biggest fool. Oh, what is it now? You want me to call you by your name? Why would I waste my breath? Listen to how many times I'm saying your name. You're not yourself today. You're never so full. It's not right. Perhaps you ate something moldy. Besides, your name is just another word. Something to get so worked up about. What are you, a child? Disappointed I'm not what you thought? I never said that. I'm not going to call you by your name, understood? For heaven's sake. Let's change the subject. The way you're silently staring at me is making my skin crawl. So, the lute. I would like you to teach me how to play the lute. Why? Is there something wrong with me wanting to know how to play? I suppose it is unusual, perhaps. Never had a chance to learn much of anything, though. I know little of how people normally entertain themselves. So I want you to catch me up on what I missed. And don't get upset if I'm a slow study. You do have an impossibly short fuse, after all. It's something else. Let's see. You know how to fish, don't you? You would go to the river sometimes, as I recall. We still don't know much about this area. Perhaps there are rivers or lakes nearby. So, teach me how to do that, too. Alright? Come on, don't just stare at me. And do you know any other words other than okay? Good heavens. Will you say my name? You don't know when to give up, do you? Plot twist, it's not Jack. Oh, plot twist. Is it that important to you? I don't want you to forget. I don't want you to forget me again. I don't want you to forget what I look like. The sound of my voice. Or how I feel about you. I don't want you to forget what we talked about. What kind of man I was. Or all the time we shared together. Please. Don't forget me. Damn. Why would you ask me that now? Right as I was. If I had remembered, would anything have been any different? Could we have not ended up so far down the wrong path? If I had gone and found you, would that have stopped you from becoming what you did? No, forget it. It's not worth thinking about. Can I hold your hand? Pardon? You don't need to ask permission for every little thing. You've always been like that. Always asked permission or had me initiate any kind of physical contact. Except when you put that ointment on my face, that is. Even that morning when you carried me home, you wouldn't just pick me up. You made me climb onto your back. Because I promised I wouldn't touch you without permission. You actually kept that ancient promise for all those years? Is there no end to your stupidity? I swear. Someone needs to come up with a new word to describe you. Do as you please. Look at you. A grown man shaking like a fawn. Sometimes I can't tell if you have a heart of stone or of glass.
Though I suppose I'm not terribly different in that regard. Unable to even speak my heart unless there's no one else around. Unable to face you except to this childish fantasy. Not even able to show any vulnerability. You once said, who knows how many years ago, that being this close has the effect of making us more open. Well, I despise you more than anything in this vast world. You showed me happiness, and then you showed me the depths of absolute despair. I have no idea what to do with you. So I didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. What other choice did I have? Yet here you are, still lingering. After I released your soul, you went and put on a new set of shackles. What was even the point? Tell me, how many times have you tried to grasp at this illusion? How many times have you punished yourself? I suppose, if you want to think I'm just part of your illusion, I won't stop you. This whole realm is an impossibly idealistic fantasy. It's fine. It makes it easier for me to say this. I do regret some of what I did. That I misdirected my anger. Oh yes, I still revile you, of course. But even more so, I'm heartbroken. How did it all end up like that? So far gone. So irreversible off the path. It was my words that ultimately pushed you over the edge, wasn't it? I want to make amends. I don't need your atonement. I told you already. It's all done. No curses, no forgiveness, nothing more between us ever again. Why then? Why am I here talking to you? It's foolish. We're helpless fools, the both of us. It's not my fault. This realm is overflowing with so much warmth. I can't hold back everything I've kept locked away all those centuries. But in the end, I just feel wretched about it all. I would have rather never remembered. We spent our lives trying so hard to suppress these memories, fighting against our pasts, just as we're doing now. Alright, that's quite enough. Would you please let go of me now? Hello? I said let go. Let go of my hand. I love you. And I hate you. I'll never feel anything but hatred for you. There's nothing left in my heart but that. This is simply me showing pity for a pathetic lost soul. I was never able to let go of you. Maybe you should have said so back then. Though I suppose you couldn't have. I had someone else to lead my way. All you could do was sit back and watch me go. You were never one who could cry in front of others or hold on to someone for support. You had to rely on this sad fantasy to bring yourself to hold my hand. There truly is no hope for you. So what, now? Are you just going to stay here, all alone for the rest of eternity? Many, many ages ago, when I was still a child, I looked up to you. I might have even had some fondness for you. What? Perhaps so. Perhaps it would have been better if we had done this sooner. I want you to forget everything I've said. This is a realm where nothing bad ever happens, right? So I'd like to indulge in this childish dream for a little while longer. Have you finally calmed down? Act smug all you want. I saw everything. I know good and well just how sad a man you truly are.
someone's waving to us in the distance. I'm still not particularly good with strangers, but the people in this land are all so kind. And you'll be holding my hand, won't you? Of course. Let's go. Yes. Let us be off. Rather than showing you the world one day, someday I'd like to bring you somewhere. Body and spirit can rest easy. Not as atonement for my sins, but because I want to see it too. Achievement unlocked. Sweet dreams. Oh my god. I didn't think it was possible, but I can't cut this up in multiple pages. This has to be one. I can't cut this up. I didn't think it was possible, but it just got even better. I did it again. You reduced me to a puddle of tears. Just the amount of love and care that was put into this is just, it just oozes out of it perfectly. That is just so nice. So, I am having a really hard time coming up with the proper words to actually summarize how I feel about this. It's pretty much the same thing that the first Fata Morgana actually did to me. It just hit all the right tones, it hit all the right spots. It's such a good, fantastic, wonderful story.
If I could be dried up and die.
Despite the immense sorrow and despair that's laden within the tale, it just, moments like that, even if it's just a fragment, a delusion. Yeah, a small reward for completing the game. That was a huge reward, I think I'm gonna turn. I'm blown away by this. And I loved every bit of it. And I hope you guys did too. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this. And I look forward to whatever Novictal has planned next. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all